Today is a very auspicious day, disappearance day of Srila Narahari Sarkar Thakur. Our Gurudev wrote his biography. He actually appeared on Utpanna Ekadashi. So because in India it is observed today on Mahadvadash, because yesterday Ekadashi was impure, so they are following today. We were observing Ekadashi here today, but observing appearance of Vaishnava today, because according to India, Pura Madhumati Pranasaki Brindavana Stita Adhuna Narahari Akhya Sarakara Prabhu Priya. Narahari Sarkar, the Lord's dear associate, was previously Radha's intimate girlfriend named Madhumati. In Krishna Lila. She is a gopi. So Srila Narahari Sarkar Thakur is counted as one of Chaitanya's branches on the desire tree of pure devotional service. By Mahaprabhu's desire, he took birth in a physician, means Vaidya, that is Ayurvedic doctor, family, blessing his family when he did so. Wherever pure devotee appears, then all are blessed. That does not mean that he is a Vaidya materially. He is a gopi from Vrindavan, only doing pastime like this, and that is why blessing all. He was foremost among the Lord's associates of the village of Srikanda. Narahari's home is about 1 mile from the Srikanda railway station near Katwa in the Burdwan district. Some of the other prominent residents of Srikanda who were devotees of Lord Chaitanya were Sri Mukunda, that is his brother, whose son is Raghunandan Thakur, Shri Raghunandan, Shri Chiranjeev, Shri Sulochan, Shri Damodar Kaviraj, Shri Ramachandra Kaviraj, Shri Govinda Kaviraj, Shri Balaram Das, Shri Ratikanta, Shri Ram Gopal Das, Shri Pitambar Das, Shri Sachinandan, and Shri Jagadananda. Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami mentions many of these names as Chaitanya's branches that generously distributed the fruits of love of Godhead. They are all having love of Godhead, so they can give. That is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita as a tree, and Mahaprabhu said, I am a gardener, and also the tree, and there are so many fruits of prema, so how many I can eat? You have to. He ordered his associates to distribute everywhere, and also I cannot go to all the places, so they have to go. That is why just before we were singing, Je Anilo Prema Dham, one who brought this wealth of love of Godhead, Heno Prabhu Kota Gelo Acharya Thakur. Where did he now go? That Acharya Thakur, because they come, they appear in this world, and then they also disappear. So then there is separation, grief felt by the devotees who are remaining here. So by their grace we can be blessed, because they have that love of Godhead. Acharya means one who follows all the instructions of Shastra. Purport, point of Shastra, he's following himself and teaching others by his own example, not by just giving lectures, but by his own example, practical, and also not showing, really sincerely he's following. Then such a person can inspire others to follow the teaching of the Shastra. So the author of Chaitanya Mangal, Lochan Das, who came from a remote village near Jamatpur, was Narahari's disciple. For this reason, Lochan Das writes that Sri Gadadhar Das and Narahari Sarkar Thakur were Mahaprabhu's dearest associates. On the other hand, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Vrindavan Das Thakur has not spoken at any length about the devotees of Sri Khanda. You know, Chaitanya Mangal also one biography of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wrote it on the order of Narahari Sarkar Thakur, Lochan Das. Prabhupada Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur also published it. But we are singing songs of Lochan Das Thakur. Gurudev was singing Akroda Paramananda Nityananda and that Nitai Mur Jibono Dhon and Kejabi Re Bhai and Parama Karuna Pahudui John, all those songs, many songs of Lochan Das Thakur. That one also, Bajo Bajo Bhai. No, not another one. But one that song is very Manadrida Kori Mukhe Bolotar Nam. Bajo Bajo Hori. Bajo Bajo Hori. That one song I will see later. That is very nice one song. So he wrote Chaitanya Mangal. Before Vrindavan Das Thakur's Chaitanya Bhagavat was named Chaitanya Mangal when he wrote it. But later, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami and Lochan Das, they gave the name Chaitanya Bhagavat because Vrindavan Das Thakur is avatar of Vyasadeva. So he wrote SRIMAD Bhagavatam and also Chaitanya Bhagavat. And this book was also named Chaitanya Mangal. Sri Lochan Das Thakur has written the following about his guru in Chaitanya Mangal. Narahari Das Thakur is my worshipable master. He descended from an esteemed line of physicians. His body was permitted by love for Krishna, and he taught his disciples nothing other than Krishna Prema. He was previously known as Madhu Moti, one of Radha's dearest Sakhis in Vrindavan, a storehouse of sweetness. Now in the age of Kali, along with Gauranga, he has become the keeper of the storehouse of love for Radha Krishna. After the death of his father, Narayan Das, Narahari's older brother Mukunda arranged for him to study in Navadip. It is said that, in fact, Mukunda also worked as a physician to the Badshah in order to meet his family expenses. Narahari quickly became very learned as well as a connoisseur of the flavors of devotional sentiment. Even before becoming Mahaprabhu's associate, he composed songs glorifying Radha and Govinda's pastimes. When Srila Gadadhar Pandit Goswami was constantly by the Lord's side, engaged in his service, Narahari had the good fortune to enter into his association. Narahari Sarkar Thakur's personal service was to fan the Lord with the yak tail whisk, that is chamara. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Mahaprabhu's personal associate, confirmed this in his Gaur Arati. Narahari Adi Kori Chamara Dhulai, Sanjay Mukunda Basu Ghosh Adi Gai. Narahari and the other residents of Sri Khanda fanned with the chamara while Sanjay, Mukunda and Vasu Ghosh sang. Narahari wrote several books including Bhakti Chandrika Potol, Shri Krishna Bhajanamrita, Shri Chaitanya Sahasranam, Shri Satchinandan Ashtakam, Shri Radhashtaka, etc. Shri Chaitanya Sahasranam means 1000 names of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like you have Vishnu Sahasranam, 1000 names of Vishnu, but there also Mahaprabhu's one name is there. The following story is told about, all of these books are well known and thought of highly by the devotees. The following story is told about Narahari. Once when Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu came to his house in Srikanda, they suddenly expressed a desire for honey. Narahari demonstrated his miraculous powers by transforming the water in a pond near his house into honey. Ever since he quenched the Lord's desire for honey with water from this pond, it has been known as Madhu Pushkarini. You have to be careful with the pronunciation, Madhu, not Madhu. Then another meaning will come. The Lord, so this is possible. Krishna is omnipotent, and by his grace, his personal associates, they also can do many miracles. So he made water into honey, whole lake. Why? To serve Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. Pure devotees, they never show any miracles for the sake of their own selfish self-aggrandizement for name and fame or to show to others. No. Whatever they do, they're always doing for the service of Krishna. Sometimes they show some miracles, but always target is service. The Lord gave Narahari the order in a dream to install 3 deities of himself, which are currently worshipped in Srikanda, Katwa and Ganganagar, means 3 deities of Mahaprabhu. Narahari Sarkar Thakur also participated in the Lord's activities in Puri. He and the other residents of Srikanda were amongst those who went every year with Shivananda Sen. From Bengal, they were walking with Nagar Sankirtan to Puri. 1 month they needed, and Shivananda Sen was engaged in arranging for their stay on the way and for prasad. And then they were staying with Mahaprabhu for 4 months, Chaturmasya, and after that they again went back with Nagar Sankirtan for 1 month. So 6 months they were away. When Mahaprabhu returned to Puri after his pilgrimage to South India, where he had saved so many people by giving them love for Krishna, Nityananda Prabhu sent Kala Krishna Das back to Bengal to tell everyone that Mahaprabhu was back. You remember some days back I was telling how Mahaprabhu said, I cannot accept him in my association, that Kala Krishna Das, but you, Nityananda, you give him some engagement. So Nityananda Prabhu sent him at that time to Bengal to inform devotees, and that was his seva. The Bengali devotees immediately made arrangements to go to Jagannath Puri to see the Lord. The residents of Srikanda, the Kandavasis, were counted amongst them. Mukunda, Narahari and Raghunandan from Srikanda arrived at Advaita Acharya's house to go to Nilachal, Chaitanya Charitamrita. After the Snan Yatra, Lord Jagannath would not be available for darshan. Out of separation from the Lord, Mahaprabhu would go to Alalnath and return to Puri when he heard that the devotees from Bengal were arriving there. When Sarvam Bhattacharya asked Gopinath Acharya to identify the Lord's devotees, he mentioned the names Narahari, Mukunda Das, Raghunandan, Chiranjeev, Sulochan, and other Kandavasis as most dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Their brothers, Mukunda, they were three brothers, Mukunda, Madhava and Narahari. And Raghunandan was the son of Mukunda. You heard how he fed that ladus and also that whole bhog he served to Gopinath Dite, and Gopinath took everything. And then also ladu, then half-eaten ladu is in his hand. So they came. Chiranjeev, I think this means in Bangla, very long life. This is the name, like one who is having long life. Sulochan means nice eyes, beautiful eyes. Chaitanya Charitamrita. During the Ratha Yatra festival, the Lord formed 7 kirtan groups with the devotees from Bengal. One of these was composed uniquely of the devotees from Sri Kanda. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes that Narahari, Sarkar, Thakur and Raghunandan were the dancers for this group, Chaitanya Charitamrita. In 2000, in year 2000, we were observing Kartik Brata with our Gurudev in Chandigarh. So every day is Nagar Sankirtan in the morning. So one day, Nishkinchan Maharaj, you know, Srila Bhakti Sarasya Nishkinchan Maharaj, he wanted to make one group only from Western devotees, following this type. Like Sri Kanda village. So that time we had to do like this. Maybe 1 or 2 times in that whole month. That was also first time in my life I had to sing in Nagar Sankirtan. He pushed, so somehow I did something. That was first time. And with all the foreign or Western devotees. When the Lord gave Mukunda, Raghunandan and Narahari directions for service, he told Narahari to remain in the association of devotees. That is his service. He gave many service for that rope they have to bring and all this different. So, because Guru will give different services, it is not same for all. It's individual, personal. So the service of Narahari was you remain in association of devotees. Many people confuse Narahari Sarkar Thakur with the author of Bhakti Ratnakar, Narahari Chakravarti. The latter, who is also known as Ghanashyam Das, was born in the district of Murshidabad, not in Srikanda. His father's name was Jagannath Chakravarti, not Narayan, and was a disciple of Bishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He came much later. On Govindaji's order, he was engaged as the cook for the Govinda temple and was known as the cooking pujari, Rasoya pujari in Braja. Then there is one song by Narahari Sarkar Thakur. The following is one of the many delectable songs composed by Narahari Sarkar Thakur. Aol Gaura Punahi Nodia Pura Hoyata Monohi Ulas Oiche Ananda Kanda Kie Herabo Koro Bohi Kirtana Bilas Hori Hori Kobo Ham Herabo Somuko Chand Biroho Payodi Kobohu Din Pan Rob Tutobo Hridoyoko Bandho Kundana Kanaka Panti Kebo Herabo Yagya Ki Sutra Biraja. Bahu Jugala Tuli Hori Hori Bolabo, Noton Bhakata Gon Majo. Eto Kohi Noyon Mudi, Bohu Sobjon, Gaur Prema Bhelo Bhor. Narahari Das Asha Kobo Purabo, Herabo Gaur Kishore. This is little more old Bengali, 500, more than 500 years ago. Even nowadays Bengalis, they have some difficulty in understanding this Sadhu Bhasha, that literal Bengali of that time. Is little changed with time. So the meaning is, if Gaur came back to Nadia town, my mind would be filled with joy. Then I would see him, the source of all joy, performing his kirtan pastimes. Hori Hori, when will I again gaze upon that moon-like face? When will that day come when the dam holding the ocean of separation in my heart breaks? When will I see the golden form of the Lord wrapped in his Jagya Sutra? Lifting my arms in the air, I will shout Hori Hori and dance in the midst of the devotees. Saying such things, many of Gaura's devotees close their eyes and merge into love for him. When will Narahari's desires be fulfilled? When will he gaze again upon the form of the young Gaura? Narahari disappeared because he was participating in all those kirtans in Srivas Thakur's house. That was not ordinary. So all devotees in Navadip, they were feeling unbearable separation, grief, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. They thought they will not be able to live. Then somehow they then remained alive because every year they were going to see Mahaprabhu in Puri and they were doing kirtan with him there for 4 months. Narahari disappeared in around 1540 in the month of Agrahayan on the Krishna Ekadashi day, means this Utpanna Ekadashi. Srinivas Acharya officiated as his funeral at his funeral ceremony. Nityananda Prabhu's son, Virabhadra Goswami, and many other important Vaishnavas were in Srikanda to celebrate Narahari's disappearance feast, which is described in Bhakti Ratnakara. Some people said, brothers, do not leave right away. An ocean of prema will flood over in Srikanda in a few days. On the 11th day of the waning moon of Agrahayan, when Narahari Thakur disappeared, a great festival will be held here. See this festival that is going to start in the next 3 or 4 days to the full satisfaction of your eyes. So it was already known that it will happen, that disappearance, because disappearance pastime of pure devotees is also not according to some karma, disease or like this. It is exclusively by the desire of Krishna or his devotees. There is no karma involved or any this, so they knew this will happen, so they all came and they observed this festival. So today is such this festival anniversary. So I am bowing down to Narahari and praying for his causeless mercy to bestow pure devotion to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Radha Krishna. Also today is the appearance day of Gurudev's god brother, Srila Bhakti Saurabh Acharya Maharaj. He appeared on Utpanna Ekadashi, which in Slovenia we were observing yesterday, but they are doing today in India. He came as a very young to the mat, and I heard from him directly, from Acharya Maharaj in Calcutta, that Parangurudev would encourage him to stay in the mat in this way also. He said, you see, in the houses, they are not cooking kheer every day. If you remain in house, they are not cooking kheer every day. But here we are cooking kheer every day in the mat. And also they will cook one time and then they will keep that in fridge, and in the evening they will heat that. In some, I heard that, not in all houses like that, but like this, Parangurudev wanted to encourage him. He said, but here in our mat, it is 3 times cooking, or at least 2 times. For noon time, offering to Krishna, and night time also cooking. In the morning, sometimes something simple, khichuri or muri or these things are there. So he encouraged him like this. It's better to stay in the mat. It's more nice. And Acharya Maharaj also told that sometimes he would carry umbrella for Parangurudev when he was doing morning walk. And one time he told him, you should read Chaitanya Shikshamrita. Chaitanya Shikshamrita. He said that was unusual because usually he told to all disciples to first read Jaiva Dharma. Our Gurudev also, Jaiva Dharma, that was first. That was generally the case. Everyone should study Jaiva Dharma first. But he said to me, Chaitanya Shikshamrita first. So that was something unusual. But there actually, that is same philosophy, only format is little different. But what you will find in Jaiva Dharma, also you will find in Chaitanya Shikshamrita. But in Jaiva Dharma, it is in a story-like narrative. But in Chaitanya Shikshamrita is a philosophical like work. But you will find there is this difference is there, that in Chaitanya Shikshamrita you will find more analysis of Western philosophies also, and Buddhists, and also Muslims, and like this Christianity a little. But in Jaiva Dharma, the first part is more, they will, there are a lot of Upanishads verses which are not there. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj told that Chaitanya Shikshamrita is like a Jaiva Dharma for the Westerners. Because there, Jaiva Dharma, you know, it starts with this, that there is one Mayavadi in Kashi, and one day, one Vaishnava, pure devotee, came, and he was loudly chanting, Ha Nityananda, Ha Gauranga, in separation grief, and sometimes falling on the ground and with all ecstatical symptoms. So that Mayavadi felt some indescribable, unprecedented bliss in his heart, which he never experienced before. But at first, he was not approaching that Vaishnava, thinking that no, I am supreme, I have this position, I am a sannyasi, I am Paramahamsa, all this. But after some days he could not hold himself anymore. He said, no, what I experienced, that was superior. I must search for a Vaishnava. I must surrender to a Vaishnava. So first he came to Vrindavan, and from there he heard all are expressing separation grief from Rup Sanatan and these devotees. And there he also heard about Navadip. Then he went to Navadip and he surrendered there to Premdas Babaji. in Godrundip. And Jaiva Dharma, at least in the beginning and also after, there is much refutation of Mayavat explanation of Shastra. That is why many Upanishadic verses are also quoted. And about the wrong explanation about right, that is not so much in Chaitanya Shikshamrita. It's directly philosophy and about some Western philosophies also, and it is more elaborate in Chaitanya Shikshamrita about different stages of humans. In Jaiva Dharma it is only mentioned immoral atheists, moral atheists, then moral theists, then sadhakas of pure devotion, Vaidhi sadhakas, and ultimately those who have attained bhav stage, they are topmost. This is more elaborate in Chaitanya Shikshamrita. So he had to first read this book. Then later on, of course, Jaiva Dharma, and our Gurudev also told, Jaiva Dharma and Chaitanya Shikshamrita both are there to be read. Means all works of Bhakti Thakur. And then also he was spending almost all the time with Gurudev when he was in Puri to recover that place, birthplace of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. It was very difficult to get because many tenants are there, and there is some difficult law there in India, and also there was some connection with the government and all this, so it was very difficult. All failed. Even ISKCON came with much money, unimaginable money, but they also could not get. Srila Sai Maharaj tried, but could not. And also others, they tried. Then when all failed, then God brothers of Parangurudev, means all disciples of Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, they requested our Parangurudev, if there is anyone who can recover this place, it is you. Because you know, when others' efforts finish, that is the point where our Parangurudev starts his efforts, and he is always successful. What he will start, he will be successful. That is why Prabhupada had full faith in him. He would always send him as an advance party, and he was successful always and fully surrendered. Sometimes immediately when he came, he did not even take rest and the bath and prasad, but Prabhupada suddenly he said, there is some service there, immediately, without thinking. And he didn't even say, I just came, let me at least take bath, let me take some prasad, then I will go. No. Immediately, when Prabhupada said, immediately, yes, what I have to do, immediately went. So such was the surrender of Parangurudev. You cannot imagine. So Prabhupada blessed him fully there in Sarbo, Gauriya Mat also, and actually he and our Gurudev also, he was sent by Parangurudev to research the situation in Puri. And our Gurudev said, I researched very minutely with all legal things, everything. And I came to Parangurudev, means to his Gurudev, and I told him it is too complicated. It is not possible. It will be only waste of time, energy, and money. Gurudev said, that is my conclusion. And Gurudev said, but my Gurudev did not listen to what I said. He did not reply anything to what I said. He just said, you bring one paper, you will write letter for this governor, that, all this you will write. He did not stop. He started. And Gurudev also thought, according to my thinking, it is impossible. I did so much research and it is impossible. But at the same time, Krishna can make, and his pure devotee, they can make what is impossible, they can make possible. So with this faith, full faith in his Gurudev, Gurudev started writing and gave full assistance to Parangurudev. Actually, Gurudev was staying in Puri all the time, and his assistant was Gauranga Das Brahmachari. That is later on Acharya Maharaj. He was staying with him. And I heard from him, from Acharya Maharaj in Calcutta, there he saw what kind of unimaginable nishta or firm faith he had in his Gurudev. Means our Gurudev, how much faith he had in Parangurudev, there I saw in practice. He would never think of anything or worry or some hesitation or some other God brothers. Some they were hesitating. No one. This is useless. We didn't come to the mat we came to do bhajan, not to go to court and these things. But Gurudev was fully dedicated to that seva. Fully, he was doing everything. Then ultimately, they got it. Parangurudev got that place. Already he got it, but then from some other mat, they came to governor and they said that actually his mat is not the original mat, it is some fake mat. We are the original mat, so we have to get that place of Bhakti Thakur appearance, we have to get. Then Gurudev came to know this and he called Parangurudev that this is happening now. And they have them in their pockets, means they are in favor of them. Then Gurudev, means Parangurudev, ordered our Guru, then you go to speak with that government and explain him the situation. Then Gurudev, out of humbleness, he said, no, you have to go. I'm not that status. You have to go. Then Parangurudev, although he was sick and there in Amritsar, very far, he came to Puri and or that was near Puri where that governor was there. Then he went to him without any appointment, directly went there, and just at that time governor was going with car somewhere. But when he saw Parangurudev on the road, then he stopped that car. He told the driver, you stop. And he came out of the car and gave full dandavat to Parangurudev and asked, why you came? You came to meet me? Then Parangurudev said, yes, I have to speak something with you. Then that governor said, okay, then you wait. I'm coming shortly back, you wait. And he ordered all his staff there to take care of him. And Parangurudev was waiting there. Then Parangurudev explained to him all the situation about the mats and everything. And by his character, because he's a pure devotee, by his character, that governor's heart changed. And he said, yes, you are a rightful owner. You will get that place. So Parangurudev got it in this way. So Gauranga Prabhu, or nowadays Acharya Maharaj, he was assisting our Gurudev there for many years. And he told me, I saw there about your Gurudev. What kind of nishta you cannot imagine. Many hardship, but fully dedicated to that seva. And whenever I spoke with Acharya Maharaj, he never said Tirtha Maharaj. He always said, what is the program of your Gurudev? Usually he asked me, when he was already, Gurudev was not traveling so much, then if Acharya Maharaj, then he would ask me, what is the program of your Gurudev? Then I told him, then Assam going. Then he said, who made that program for going to Assam? Because that time that this is there like this. So he took sannyas from Gurudev. Why? Because before Parangurudev disappeared from this world, he wrote one letter to Gaurango Prabhu, means Acharya Maharaj. He wrote him letter that Tirtha Maharaj is too much valuable for me and for this month. Too much. So always you have to stay with him. You have to be very careful that nothing happens to him, because he's too much valuable to me. This is my order to you. You have to stay with him. So this order he got from Parangurudev. Then Acharya Maharaj followed this. He became his personal secretary and was traveling everywhere with him all the time. And he would write you in the book if you wanted to take initiation. And he also explained to me, when I got Harinam in Mayapur, he explained to me about bath and cutting the nails and shave. And he was asking, what is my caste? I said, we have no caste. Then he was smiling and like very nice. And then he was preaching everywhere with Gurudev. And then when Gurudev started to play some pastimes of illness, then he gave more and more responsibility to Acharya Maharaj. Like in the matter before initiations, he had to do that Guru Puja and Vaishnava Puja before on his behalf. And for leading parikramas, Navadip, Brajamandal, and for preaching in different places. So more and more responsibility he gave. And then also when Gurudev was playing the pastime of sickness, then he wrote down 3 names as per the order of Parangurudev, according to our constitution of the Mat. He gave 3 names among whom the GBC members will select next Acharya based on spiritual eminence. So Gurudev gave 3 names, and that was first. And then when they were having the GBC meeting later on in Vrindavan, that time Gurudev said that it is he's in favor of Acharya Maharaj. So then after the disappearance of Gurudev, all anonymously accepted him, because it was the open desire of our Gurudev. So then he was Acharya, but then after some time, due to health reasons, he resigned. And then Bhagavat Maharaj became Acharya, but he's still living. He's preaching in some places in India, much in Agartala also, and his disciples are there. So I also did not know, but today I saw on Facebook one his Harinam disciple. I know him I met him in Mayapur. He put on Facebook that today is his appearance day. So I'm remembering Acharya Maharaj. I saw him, and also he was doing kirtans all the time. Damodar Ashtaka, Yam kirtans, Nagar Sankirtan, and preaching and assisting with initiations, all these services. But he's very strict also, very strong, but also soft, both. And so I have good memories. I am bowing down to Maharaj and praying for his causeless grace. Just little, I will open Bhagavatam to see where we finished yesterday in introduction. Yes, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatana Goswami, they met in Kashi, Varanasi, and Mahaprabhu taught him about Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana, and here Srila Sai Maharaj is making some summary. Mahaprabhu taught him about the constitutional position of the living being. Jiver Sarup Hoy, Krishna Nityadas. Krishna Tatashta Shakti Bheda Bhed Prakash. The cause of his bondage under material conditions. Krishna Bhuli Se Jeep Onadi Bahirmuk Otoeb Maya Taredei Sangsar Adi Duk. Because of forgetting Krishna, Maya is enveloping us and giving us these threefold miseries. His eternal relation with the personality of Godhead, his expansions in different plenary portions of incarnations, his control of different parts of the universe, the nature of his transcendental abode, devotional activities, their different stages of development, the rules and regulations for achieving the gradual stages of spiritual perfection, the symptoms of different incarnations in different ages, and how to detect them with reference to the context of revealed scriptures. The Lord's teachings to Sanatana Goswami form a big chapter in the text of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and to explain the whole teachings in minor details will require a volume in itself. These are treated in detail in our book Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita we were hearing all that Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana, and mostly he gave all the evidences from SRIMAD Bhagavatam Mahaprabhu. And at the end also, Sanatana Goswami directly asked him, who is the avatar for this Kali age? I think you are. Then Mahaprabhu, in a roundabout way, he would explain to him that, as always, the avatar should be predicted or described in the Shastra. By that description, you can recognize. That is self-revealed knowledge. So, based on this, not by some people will gather and they will declare he is God like this. No, it has to be evidenced in the Shastra. Then you can accept. So, for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also there is evidence in Bhagavatam and other scriptures also in Vishnu Sahasranam and some the Chaitanya Upanishad and many Shastra there. So in this way we can know. So tomorrow is also one Vaishnava. We will hear about his glories and we can continue this topic here.